What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the stream, Tech with KG, here with Keep It Classy Tech. We're doing a TV war. I guess the annual, I don't know if it's
What's
annual,
going on, everybody?
the one-time thing, QD OLED S95B versus the QN90B, the A80J, and the LGC2. So it's the shootout, and I'm pretty pumped to do this. So any suggestions in chat, I'll try to do them, but no guarantees. First, I just want to say, what's up, Classy? How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. How's it going for you?
Pretty good. So before the stream started, I matched all these in SDR with the help of Classy. So thank you for that. And what you're seeing on camera, the difference is going to be just white balance and pretty much the mannerisms and stuff. So not much I could do about that. The QD OLED will come across as like a reddish purple tint sometimes, and the OLEDs will be a bluish tint. Again, that's nothing I could do about that. So enjoy, guys. I hope you guys like it, and we're gonna do it big. We're gonna do some SDR to start off, and then I'm gonna move on to some Spears of Munsell HDR. And then we're gonna do some gaming, and then I'll try to get some HDR YouTube videos to play on the Apple TV before we wrap.
All right. You want to call out what's what here?
Yeah. So let me restart this demo and kind of just talk about which TVs are which. I don't know if I should put it up on screen or not, but what we got here on the very left is the QN90B Neo QLED. The second one is the S95B QD OLED. The big boy is the 77-inch A80J. And the one right next to that on the very right is the LGC2 OLED. So these are all 55-inch except for the A80J, which is a 77-inch. And I should probably put that on the screen on the bottom since it looks like it won't cover up the screen, so we should be good to do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. I'm gonna try to answer questions in the comments and stuff, but it's gonna be definitely hard. So if you want to get your questions in, super chats are always gonna be the best bet. But I will try to get to some chat questions in class. You can highlight some, and read them, yeah. Let me write which TVs are which on the screen right now.
All right. People starting to fill in now too. So
Cool.
How's it going, Dwayne? And let's see, Ari, Iceman, Jovan. Yeah, let me know if my voice is too loud compared to KG's. I got my mic a little bit further away. Try and balance it out a little better.
Yeah. Let me see if I could shrink this banner somehow. Oh my gosh. All right, let me see.
I think like that works.
Yeah. That works. I didn't mess it up, did I? Still
Nope.
looks good. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so any comments, and I'll make adjustments to whatever's necessary. If you guys got any requests on demos, I could try to pull those up. But right now we're only able to do the SDR demos for the Xbox, but then we're gonna switch to Spears and Munsell HDR, and then we're gonna do some gaming. Then we're gonna go to the Apple TV, try to do some HDR demos that way. Maybe even some Blu-rays. Classy's with us for about 40 minutes or so, and then he's got to dip out. But then we're gonna get Max to join us, and yeah, we might have some more guests. I'm not sure yet, so we'll see. We'll see. Your power meter spinning really fast right now. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna throw some of these Samsung demos on right now. And a lot of this SDR demos, I'm saying that they all look very similar. Nothing really jumps out in SDR to me yet. So that's one of the things when you are watching SDR mainly, a lot of these TVs are going to look fairly similar for the most part. Is that kind of what you see too, Classy, when you are watching SDR stuff and you compare TVs?
Yeah, especially when you set them into a the most accurate state for the settings out of the box.
Right.
They should be fairly close. I mean, I can see right now where the S95B is doing some things it shouldn't be doing. But other than that, they should be fairly close for SDR because there's no technical limitations from any of these except the QN90B. While it has really good, blooming and black level and things like that, it's still not OLED perfect. So it would struggle the most for dark areas.
Yeah, especially when you set it to local dimming low, which I do have it in for SDR right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go to that Spears of Monsol disc. There's some SDR demos you can think of to play. Only ones I could think of are the Samsung ones direct off their website.
You got a super chat?
All right, let's check it out. Paul, thank you for the super chat. He says, love the content, guys. Also, thanks to Classy for the great A80J settings. Fire. Yeah, settings from Classy are really good.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for the super chat.
And being honest, I kind of miss my A80J.
Oh, it's a good TV, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's just... so I've had a 65-inch now since I sold it, which was, the beginning of March, I think. So basically, let's just say 2 months now, being with a 65-inch. And for the most part, it's all right. Especially if it's full 16:9 content, it's not that bad. But watching anything with the black bars and being 2:4:1, it's really seeming small.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
yeah, I bet. When I'm comparing these, I'm like, oh man, that A80J is just so much bigger.
Yeah, I'm working on a video right now about picking the right size. So that should be hopefully out tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm going to probably do another A80J settings video, like a more juiced settings, because I've been messing with the A80J next to the S95B, seeing if I could replicate it. I got pretty close, but you can't quite get to the same colors, of course, because QD-OLED does do different colors that some other TVs just can't get to, no matter what you do to try to push them. But I do have a way to kind of juice the A80J for gaming. I wouldn't really do it for TVs or movies, but for gaming, all the gloves are off. And yeah, I can't wait to put that video out. That'll be fun.
And as Mozart saying, yeah, that is probably the #1 best deal I can think of right now. 77-inch A80J for $2,300.
Absolutely.
If you are anywhere near the $2,000 budget, even if you are gaming at that price, it's hard to pick something else.
Absolutely, yes. No doubt about that. We'll switch to HDR in a second. I just wanted to let people roll in and get this going with some SDR. What's up? Whisper Status in the building. Brian, how's it going, man?
Yeah, Brian. I was talking to Brian earlier, and I don't have anything to announce yet, but I do have. I believe tomorrow I'll be placing an order for a panel, and so I will announce that when it comes.
Yeah, mystery panel. That's all we're gonna say. Oh man, on camera these look way different, like with the white balance and the colors.
But the A80J green is
yeah,
super green right now. Is
yeah, I don't know. Did I juice that? Hold on, let me see. Did I juice the colors and I don't remember? What's going on here? Oh, yeah, yeah. No, but it still looked juiced. I guess I had live color on. That's my bad, I guess.
Go all the way down to advanced and just make sure your stuff is on auto.
Oh, yeah.
Or a signal. Sorry, yes, the signal.
Yeah,
It's all auto? Okay.
It is.
Yeah,
Still
so there
looking a
is
little
there is
juicy.
a big issue and bug with the QN90B and the S95, and there's like I don't even know how many other Samsungs. I don't know. We're just putting the pieces of this puzzle together. Samsung has major problems with detecting the correct color gamut. So if you remember, even with my QN90B video, I was saying how auto wasn't working, and you said it's been that way for years.
Yeah.
It seems that maybe they're trying and they're just screwing it up so bad that they're like, one moment it's desaturated, then you change picture mode and change back, then it's oversaturated. It is constantly moving it into normal or natural or native color gamuts. It is just, even in SDR, it's like switching between 709 and older. Like, it is just all over the place with how it's detecting color, and it's on both of those for sure, and possibly other Samsungs. So that's going to make like everything about it really difficult.
Yeah. Samsung's kind of buggy, especially at launch. It's one of those things that you will have to deal with as a Samsung owner, and then with firmware updates, it is iffy from time to time. There's no doubt about it. So you always take a risk when you are buying Samsung at launch, because there's always bugs. But there's a lot of bugs with other TVs, but definitely not as much as Samsung for sure. And we're just trying to figure that out. Juice it. I'll mess with that later. Hey Brian, if you want to come on, man, you're welcome to. I could send you the link on Twitter if you want to join us.
Franklin, Costco. So it's technically $2,800, but you get a $500 gift card. And to me, a Costco gift card is the same as cash. And if you already have that Costco membership, it's the same as cash.
Yep, I think they have the QN90B 65-inch for $2,500, and you get a $500 Costco card with that. It's not bad either.
And we're also seeing 65-inch C1s for $1,600 or less.
Oh,
so that's getting really good for those.
Yeah,
I mean, especially like C2 has some upgrades and has some reasons to like it over the C1, but there are some things like BFI and stuff that are better on the C1. So if you want to, I would basically consider the C1 to the C2 like a side grade. So if you just want to save money, that 65-inch C1 for 16 is really good. I did not update my S95B yet. There is a ton of problems. Sammy is here. Sammy is doing a lot of really good testing, and did confirm that the i1 Spectros are basically not worth using on it. So I'm going to leave all the color stuff to him or D-Nice or someone else. And I am in talks to get a new Spectro so that I can cover QD OLED better. But in the meantime, I'm not going to bother doing any more measurements. I can measure, brightness and things like that, but I'm not going to try and measure color when the meter's not correct for it.
Yep.
That said, I have huge doubts about some of the people making comments about the update and their ability to talk on it correctly. So I'll wait for Sammy or D-Nice or somebody to test it.
Yeah. It looks like the QD OLED sticks out a little bit more, but not because of the brightness, but on camera it looks brighter. It's interesting. They're about the same brightness though, and when we were testing it earlier, they looked to be, but it's just that contrast, I think, just comes through on the camera.
Yeah, and it's like some of these scenes on the S95B, it's looking like it. I mean, it's definitely going to be oversaturated and wrong, but there's some of the scenes where it's looking like it's getting hit with the gamut bug.
Oh, maybe. It's possible.
It's kind of hard to tell through the camera, though. But
they all look the same to me, color gamut wise.
What's really weird is how much bluer the Sony is looking than your C2. You probably have one of the C2s with a near D65 white point then, because that Sony is probably Judd.
Oh yeah, the Sony probably is. It's one of the
By
ones I
your
got in
eye, does it look
November.
bluer? Like
Yeah.
Even the white text, is it bluer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like I have to use Warm 1 to get close to it on my Samsung, so that would probably mean it's bluer, right?
Yeah, I mean, realistically, you probably could just take away a few clicks of blue from your gain and be all right, but...
Yeah. All right, let's go to HDR. We're going to go ahead and reset the TVs live so you can see it. And
Samsung will help you out with that all on its own anyway. Yeah, so...
See, I haven't really dealt with that too much yet, but I am on the first firmware still, so...
Yeah, I also have a second follow-up video to everything wrong with the S95B I'm working on, as more bugs and issues and problems have surfaced.
I think my Blu-ray player is just like slow right now. There it goes. Oh, wow. Okay, so everything's in the wrong mode, so let me fix that. That's so bright. The menu is in HDR too, right? So I can...
Yep.
Okay. Alright, so we want to throw this into custom, right?
Mm-hmm. See, this is where Sony has the bigger advantage against even LG, is like literally straight out of the box custom is basically set how it should be.
Everything looks good here.
So far, yeah. I think like literally the only thing in custom that some people would adjust is like motion settings, but that's...
It's probably not gonna matter on camera.
Yeah, for people who wanted to be accurate but not mess with stuff, then that's where you get a Sony.
Yeah, I'm just showing everybody everything is regular, no adjustments. I guess I should just reset color or reset the thing, even though it is already reset basically. So
yeah, Sammy, if SD is here, I don't know if he is or not. He sent a... It was for his QN90B, but so I was saying this, both of them are having these issues where it's picking the wrong gamut, whether you're in auto or not, and then it will either change the gamut setting like you've seen, or sometimes it will still say auto, but it has selected something completely wrong, and then you change the picture mode and change back, even in game mode or movie mode, doesn't matter, it's doing it. And sometimes it's like way undersaturating, and that we're just doing all kinds of weird stuff. And there's people talking about how it was green, and then putting more hours on it, it gets less green. I don't know. There's just so many things in the air about it.
The QN90B has given me a couple of bugs so far. I haven't really experienced much on the S95B yet, but I am on the first firmware still, like the out of the box 1098 firmware or whatever it's called. So for the LG C2, if I want to match it, what do I set it to?
All right, so for HDR, you'll be in cinema and then turn off HDR tone mapping.
All right, let me reset it so everybody knows. Not trying to nerf any of these TVs. Okay, so just turn off the tone mapping.
Yep. Okay, that should be it there. And then go your color, and just make sure it's warm 50 and auto gamut.
Yeah.
Okay, then that's good. And then just go to your AI and make sure AI is not on.
Okay.
Nope,
just in general.
Okay.
Cool. And Samsung should be filmmaker mode for the QN90B.
Yeah, and
or
then
movie. Which one did you?
Filmmaker.
Okay.
And then high, off, warm 2.
Do you use? See,
Just
because like if I
don't.
have it up, do you see it? It's
I
it
mean,
just
I see what it's
looks
doing now, but
raised. Yeah.
if you're just comparing these with out of the box, but
Yeah.
minor adjustments, I wouldn't mess with anything like that.
Okay.
And then, yeah, just go ahead and do BT 2020 for the Spears disc.
Yeah.
And
That's what I
then
yeah.
just that should be it, unless you got to make sure that power
I don't
savings off.
think I have any white balance adjustments. No. Okay. Power saving should be off, but let's double check.
Most likely the C2 would be brighter than the A80J, yes.
Not by much.
Yeah, not much, but panel performance or panel capability should be a little higher on the C2. A little.
You will get better highlights from time to time from the A80J still.
Yeah, that's the processing side. That's why I say, like,
Yep.
you can't go completely by the measurements because that's just the capability of the panel. But Sony notoriously, like, doesn't measure as high, but is able to push more in real content. So
Yeah. So I'll just make it out of the box then, the S95B.
for the most part, just make sure you set it to BT 2020, and then you decide if you want to drop the color to 20 to try and rein in some of the saturation or not.
I don't know. What do you think? What does chat want? Does chat want me to keep it out of the box, or do you want me to rein in the color a little bit?
Knowing that when you do that, it does have other effects as well.
Yeah. So let's not. Let's just leave it the way it is out of the box.
Okay. It's just gonna make it seem oversaturated compared to the rest.
Mm-hmm.
But even if you do change it, like I can see the orange from the cloud.
Yeah. We'll do it after the fact, after the first round, and then
why does the QN90B look so green?
It looks not green. Does it look green?
So the camera right now he has set to 6500K, which it wasn't done to any particular panel, and so that's kind of like a middle ground. So none of these white balanced specifically, but so he can try to alleviate having 3 different panel technologies for the metamerism. So try to ignore any tinting stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So like the Sony's gonna look most blue because it's white point, but the Sony and the LG will look a little bit too blue from the camera. The QD OLED looks a little bit too like reddish or something from the camera.
Yeah.
So,
all right. So should I run the 600 first, or the 1000 first?
yeah, I might as well just start at 600 and work your way up. Go 600, 1000, 2000.
We'll do that. And I'll pause it sometimes, but we'll just let it run through the first time, because there shouldn't be too many differences on 600.
See, and then the issue too is that the S95B is pushing the mid-range so much that the camera is going to just make it look a lot brighter. When at 600 nits, all of these should look the same.
They do. They look all the same, except for the QN90B is pushing hard. Like real hard. Like I don't know if you could catch that on camera, but it is pushing.
I see a little bit of pink tint on your C2 just on the left side.
That's very possible. That is very possible. I actually don't have much tinting. I don't see any tinting on the A80J.
Yeah, that's the 77 A80s and then the A90s. They have that filter they use to try and offset the pink tint after they get the panels from LG, but then it makes them a little bluer, greener, cyan kind of tinted.
Thanks. Now I see the pink tint on the C2. I can't unsee it. Yeah, the QN90B is so bright here.
SD says he hasn't had any of the color gamut issues on the S95B like he has on the QN90B. Mm-hmm. But me, Sammy, and before we started this, KG, when he was setting the TVs up, like I said, I wish he was live because it showed it. Yeah. It happened to him while he was setting it up. So it does happen on the S95B as well.
Yeah, it just doesn't select the right color gamut sometimes. So like, if you have it set to custom, it's just sometimes gonna bug out. Like that's how it's been on every Samsung for, well, since I remember. The Q90T had it. So, and yeah, so a couple, what, 2-3 years now. Kind of unfortunate. So SD, the Q90B is holding its own, but it's all 600 nits right now, of course. But looks pretty good. Like honestly, I love what the Q90B can do. Like it's just those darker scenes. It's gonna lose the contrast war. The contrast war, like far and away, goes to the QD OLED. When you see the brightness combination with the contrast, it's something else. That's why I think the A95K, man, people, the way like I'm reacting to the S95B, I think you're gonna have everyone reacting to the A95K. I think you're gonna have people lose their freaking minds over the A95K. You could see the color right here, classy. It's pushing.
Yeah, if you want to pause at some point, like right
Sure.
there, I think that's always a good spot to pause.
Oh, let me go back. Yeah, right here.
Yeah.
The Q90B is too bright, obviously, but
See, and this is where if you want, you can, if you got the exposure compensation, just turn it up and down so that you can show. If you turn it down, then you'll see more of the color and less of the brightness, and then turn it up to show the brightness differences. But
there you go. I got it at -2 right now, so you can kind of see. I mean, to my eyes, they're not like, it's not pushing way too hard on the colors.
is
Actually,
this the
seems
camera,
fine.
or does the C2 like detail and fineness look a little better than the A80J, which would be really surprising to me? But I mean, very faintly to get the middle parts of that feather. I don't know. It might just be the camera or the focus or something. But does anyone else see a little bit more detail on the C2?
It definitely looks about the same.
Even if it's the same and the
yeah.
reality creation's on auto, that would be cool, right?
Oh, that's a good question. Let me check
nice
what the
up there.
reality creation is on. Because I thought I should keep it on auto, you said?
Yeah, I would just. I mean, that's what I always use on those is auto, and it should default
It's
to
on manual.
yeah, manual 20 or auto. It's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
And if the C2 is holding detail similar to that, that just shows where when you have a clean source, the LGs do look really sharp. And
In the middle of the feather, like right underneath, where like the arrow is kind of going into the middle of the feather, it does look a little blurrier. But other than that, the fine details seem to be matching across the board.
so you would say the C2 improves over the C1 then for that.
Yeah, the QD OLED is the best though out of all of them in terms of fine details.
Yeah. See, I think that's more of the contrast difference though, making it stand out more.
You might be right.
But yeah, like this to me is just showing where it's pushing too much brightness right now.
Oh, the QD OLED.
Both of the Samsungs.
Yeah. Well, okay. Of course, the Q90B pushes it hard.
Yeah.
Shout out to 237 people in here right now.
We got
What's
Max
up, guys?
in here.
Oh, hey, Max.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know if you could hear me or not.
Yeah. Hey, Sammy, you're welcome to join as well, if you want, if you're bored. So I wanted to pause it here because this is where I do notice the QD OLED likes to push it sometimes on that red orange there.
Let me guess. I didn't even get a chance to see what is what.
Oh, it says it on the screen, so.
Well, there was a comment
oh,
up.
you
So.
just put it on the screen. I was about to guess.
It's been there. It's just the comment took it away.
Oh, then never mind then. Oh, I guess right. Okay, so.
I want to point this out about the A80J. I think a lot of people might feel like the A80J is a little softer on the color compared to the C2. It does look a little duller out of the box when when you have it next to the C2 and the QD OLED and Q90B.
let me see if I have my C2 stuff on this computer, but if I don't, yeah, the C2, it too had a little extra saturation, especially in red.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
sorry about the reflections, guys. I can't do nothing about that.
yeah, Sammy said he can hop on in a few if you got a way to get him an invite.
Cool. Yeah. Can you just shoot him the invite?
Yeah. Let's see.
I could also message it on AVS if you want.
No, I got it. I'm just gonna email him, and I'll email Matt in case he's around.
All right. Cool. Let me actually go back to that because I like this one to pause on. Here's where you can see the red is being pushed pretty hard. You see that, Classy, on the screen?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know this scene. Like I know how much is pushing red here.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where it's like, all right, so let the chat answer, but would you prefer that he keep showing it like this, or should he make a few minor adjustments to the Samsungs to make them look a little more accurate? I mean, they're not going to get there perfectly, but get them a little bit more in the right direction, and then that will balance them out a little bit more, because right now the OLEDs are more in the accurate direction than the Samsungs are.
Yeah, and let me say, people are gonna freaking love this. Like I do think people are gonna love it.
Yeah.
Like Micker was saying, he says this right here. He says, "Pushed hard, but looks better to me," and I feel the same way. Like, so it really just depends on the image you're looking for.
See, and this is, I mean, as you see these comments coming in, they want it like this. They like it pushed. Like the average person, likes that. So that's where it's like, for me, when I do my videos and streams and stuff, I try to do the accuracy thing for being a calibrator, but I also try to do this kind of thing for the majority of people who want it this way. Like, it's still the more accurate mode. You're still in filmmaker and everything. It's just the average person doesn't really want you to mess with it, you know?
So I can tell you right now, like, the QA90B is probably the second brightest, which is crazy because, you know, QA90B is the brightest TV in here. But the QD OLED is just, when you see the brightness combination with the contrast combination for the first time, it is something like you've never seen before. So it sticks out more than any TV I've seen before, and this is why I have a strong opinion on it. And I think people that love accuracy are probably going to say the same thing when they see the A95K. I do think that we are at just a better technology overall now. So
yeah, I totally agree, and that's why I was just saying that. I know people are going to give me a lot of hate for this, but it's just RGB panels are just they're at their limits unless LG pulls something out next year or something like that we don't know about. But it just is QD OLED technology. We only have Samsung at first, but just imagine what, you know, other companies would do with it and stuff. So
yeah, I want to point this out. Oh god, I almost messed that up. I want to point this out.
You got super chat.
All right. Stealth Dragon, thank you for the super chat. I just bumped the camera. My bad. He says, after gaming on the S95B, it's tough to say the A95K will be better. Thank you guys. Yeah, gaming is fantastic on the S95B. Like, really, really good. And so the A95K has got to match that with its features, you know? So.
Yeah, and then to think about it too, that Sony doesn't have like a gaming hub like how Samsung or LG have. So those are the things you got to think about too. It just goes straight to game mode on the picture settings. And so that's something to think about as well too.
Yeah. No doubt. Thank you for the super chat, Stealth Dragon. Yeah, a lot of these, you'll see red. This scene in particular actually surprisingly sticks out to me. Like, this is one of those scenes where I thought would look about the same on all the OLEDs, but it doesn't. It just sticks out so much on the QD OLED.
Come get daddy huggies.
It's really nice on the
Yeah.
C2 too. I gotta say, it is really nice on the C2 as well.
Yeah, they all look good. I think if you separated every single TV and put them in different rooms,
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
it's gonna be a different conversation.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with
So
any of these for sure.
yeah, that's one thing I want to stress too. You should pause that scene right there.
This one,
Yeah, I love looking at that
so classy.
specific picture.
Yeah.
In this scene, the white in the Ferris wheel, in the middle of the Ferris wheel,
Yeah.
has like a little bit of a red tint on the S95B.
That's you're seeing the color fringing or chromatic aberration because it's such a dark area with such a bright spot. So
Okay.
that's where you're really seeing that triangle pixel structure doing that.
All right. Yeah, I was always wondering that because I've seen that a few times and I paused it. I was like,
Like,
that's interesting.
I don't know if you're able to move, but if you go get up close to the screen, see if you see it
Oh,
mostly
yeah, I
on
see
the
it.
edges.
It's like shifting if I move
Right,
my
no-
head.
Well, it should only be visible on edges, like where the white and the black is meeting.
Okay.
Like if it's in the center of the white, then no. If you're seeing it where, because it's such a thin, like even around the Ferris wheel, it's such a thin area. Like the camera is even picking up a lot of red there. So that, to me, I'm guessing should be the fringing.
Right. Yeah.
But I would say in this scene, well, most of these scenes, the A80J here is going to be the most accurate as far as how bright each part of the scene is. So you can judge that. Like if you look at the QN90B and how you see so much brightness in all of the metal areas of the Ferris wheel, but on the A80J you only see like the bottom, I don't know, third or so.
Yeah. So you know the rooftop right here? You can't really see it on the C2.
Yeah, that's because the C2 crushes a lot.
Yeah.
And the A80J, like I said, is right. And then the QN90B is the most lifted. And then the S95B is the second most lifted.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of crushing going on here for the C2. And then I got super chat. Crip, thank you for the super chat. He says, does the QD outperform at darker colors? It really depends on the scene. It can get to the deeper colors, just like all the other OLEDs for sure. I don't know if it outperforms it though. I guess it really depends on the color and how hard you're pushing it. What would you say,
Yeah, I'm
Classy, on
watching.
this one?
For the most part, most content that, I mean, unless you have like something extremely BT 2020, and it, even then, probably no. Like it's really only bright colors content, especially like movies, TV, games. Like it's all basically P3. There's
Yeah.
like unless you have something like this specifically for BT 2020, and even then, only certain aspects of certain scenes are going to be in BT 2020. So, for the most part, no. The only thing is, like in some mid ranges of let's say like 2000 nit content, maybe there might be some colors that the volume starts to fall off, but it's really scene to scene dependent and rare.
Yeah. I'll say right here, there's like minimal banding on all of TVs, except for the QN90B does seem to have a little bit more banding, or color banding, not like banding.
Posterization.
Posterization. Yeah, we'll just call it that then. All right, let's keep it going.
And if at any point in this kind of content or any scenes or whatever you see like vertical banding on the C2 or the A80J, like you should call that out too.
Okay. Yeah.
You have another super chat.
Oh, thank you for the super chat. Micker, he says, appreciate the stream tonight. Know it took you a while to set up. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it took a little bit. I got the 4-way splitter, and then kind of have this weird camera setup going where my head's like almost hitting the camera. So if you ever see the camera get bumped, that's my bad. So yeah, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. So right here for the brightness, they're all just kind of like looking a little bit dim on this scene. Like even the QD OLED, probably the second least dim, I would say. And then the QN90B just looks really good on this scene. Also, like the QN90B's white balance seems to be way different, but there's nothing I can really do about that right now.
You might need to turn the exposure compensation up a little bit.
Oh yeah, right. Because I forgot to adjust that. How's that?
That's better.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's way better.
Yeah, none of these are calibrated. Yeah, the only one that's going to be blowing out is going to be the QN90B. I guess that's fine. This one is where you can see a lot of the color difference as well. Like if you look at the Chameleon, let me adjust. You see how the yellow's pushing like in the middle there?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can see that big time on here. This scene in particular is like really looks good on all four of the TVs, but I would say it looks the best on the A80J. Just looks the most balanced. But like if you're talking about the focal point, like what looks the most 3D, it's definitely the QD OLED, and the C2 is not too far behind, to be honest with you. The Q90B is like really popping out more so, but the immersion is kind of broken though, because you do still have some lifted blacks. But I think in a dark room, people would still love the Q90B. Like you could get away with dark room viewing on it.
Ray, I have not seen one single report of anyone having any vertical banding or DSC issues on the QD OLED.
Yeah, I on my side, I have absolutely no issues on my side. It's like one of the cleanest panels
same.
I have ever seen.
The flip side to that is we know, at least initially, there were those reports that Samsung Display had a yield of 35% or something. Maybe they were only keeping the best of the best panels so that they had an impressive launch. And then as they increase yield, maybe they let more defects slide through. We don't know yet. That's going to take time to find out.
Yeah.
But
So
there
I
has
want to
been
point.
some go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, go for it.
No, I was about to say there has been some other people have mentioned that they had some bent panels. I know Classy
Yeah.
used it. You have some.
There's a lot of
Yeah, I've
those.
seen some other reviews too on AVS forum that people had the same thing. And even Best Buy reviews, people said they had like it was delivered bent. So
I want to point a few things out on this scene. So it's brighter, but it is like it does feel more lifted, like the smoke and stuff. And also the wood, if you notice, it's red on both the C2 and the S95B. Like what you were saying, Classy, I do notice like the C2 does push the red a lot.
Those lizard lips, it looks like it has lipstick on.
yeah, I was just about to say, I said,
Yeah.
lipstick. What's going on?
Yeah, and you can't see it, but they do look about the same on the S95B as the C2. So they're both pushing that red really hard. So I don't think people really noticed that when, at first. It is not like accurate out the box.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I've been saying too. Like the LGs out of the box, they need some work too.
Yeah.
I mean, Samsung is taking things farther, but I mean, it's Samsung. But LG is going in the wrong direction for out of the box as well.
In order to match like the color, I'd have to push this up to like 59. You see that?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
even there, it's
Yeah.
that's not the same.
yeah,
I
even
think
then
every
I probably
TV needs
had to
work.
push it a little bit more. But we'll keep it at 50 since that's default.
Yeah, well, like I said, I guarantee you the A80J is your most accurate display here.
Oh, I without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Yeah, that's dynamic tone mapping off on the LG.
It is
you have
off.
another super chat.
It is off, yeah.
Yeah, so I was confirming for someone that asked.
Oh, okay. Gaming Tech, thank you for the super chat. He says, "Hey guys, how is everybody? I enjoy the content, even on my old LG C10. Hey, thanks, man. If you want to hop on, I could send you an invite.
Yeah, I just watched some of Gaming Tech videos, and he did one with Spider-Man, Miles Morales. I thought that was so good. So, yeah, he really talks about a lot of gaming, especially when it comes to HDR and frames. So keep up the good work.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, this scene is very bright on all of the Samsungs.
The reason being that Sony has different priorities than Samsung does.
Yeah.
And Sony is going to, I mean, we can't say for sure, but judging on their past and their history and what they do, they're going to take a lot more care to make it more accurate out of the box and make it a better cinematic experience.
Yep.
And also their processing is still the best.
Yeah, I can't wait to see like them side by side in terms of processing and like that 3D effect, because the A90J really gave me that 3D effect, but the QD OLED just seems to take it to a different level. Like this scene in particular next to the A80J, like I'm definitely going to take the QD OLED here just because it does look like that's more three-dimensional. And for this scene, I guess that's what I would want. I wouldn't want like a flat image.
But for me, I was gonna say like the S95B is making that chessboard look like there's a red light
for
above
sure.
it.
Yeah, no. That's what it looks like to me too. This is where you can see that red push. You can see it on the C2 a little bit too.
Yeah. And then the QN90B, I don't like. It looks like there's yellow lights shining down on it.
Yeah, it looks about just a brighter version of the A80J right now, I would say. It is brighter though. I can see why you say that. Oh, this is where you really see that red difference. It's very strong. I'll say
This
that.
is one where you're probably gonna have to bounce the exposure back and forth to show the color.
It's already at -2. Let me see.
That's -2 already.
Yeah.
All right, then. I don't even know what. Like, yeah, that's just crazy.
Yeah, there's nothing I can do about that. That's as low as we're going there.
Turn the exposure up to match the brightness of the OLEDs then.
There you go.
Yeah.
So now it looks like
the
the Samsungs are clipping. Oh, no, it's not at 0. It's at 2. Yeah. Let's go to 0 then.
Yeah, just put it in the middle.
Yeah. The one that looks like a real strawberry to me here, probably the A80J. Unless you have a really super red strawberry. I guess it really depends because you can have like different shades of strawberries. A little more faded ones.
Sony's processing is still much better than Samsung. Samsung right now has a lot of problems with their bugginess and issues, and low quality content that I'm seeing is bad, and there's something else that has been popping up and visible and being seen that's going to be in my video. I'm not going to put a lot of emphasis on right now, but it's very weird what Samsung has done with the S95B.
All right, so should I try 1,000 now, or should we just go straight for 2,000?
Now go for 1,000 because 1,000 is where they can
separate.
It's where the OLEDs on the right are going to be tone mapping somewhat, but still reserve quite a lot of detail, and then the two on the left shouldn't need tone mapping really for much of it, but of course they're still going to be doing whatever they're doing because it's Samsung.
Yeah, I'll try to pause it a little bit more now.
But there will be some cases here and there, like the horses scene, where you will probably see more detail in the snow on the Samsungs than on the other two. Well, at least the LG. I'm not sure about the Sony. The Sony might tone that a bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you want to pause and then just try to look like in the far back or the smallest areas where grass sticks out if you see any differences. And then at 2000 nits, that's where you're going to see a lot of differences.
Yeah. The only one that really sticks out here is definitely the Q90B. But the OLEDs look almost the same across the board, except for, I would say, the A80J, definitely you could see that it looks more bluer, you know? But that's just because you said it was at a different white point.
Mm-hmm.
As far as details go, it looks about the same. Here's where you can see processing though. Like you were saying, Sony has a better processor. I agree with that, but Samsung has really caught up when it comes to fine details. Like the QD OLED is really, really nice on that. So here you can see a separation. Like the LG can't even come close to what Sony and Samsung is doing. Like in the real fine details right here. It got better though. It's a lot better than where it was before.
I think at their first attempt too, especially for a OLED type base TV, I do think that it is pretty amazing. I mean, of course, I still think Sony processor is going to be better.
Yeah, I was talking about. I specifically said lower quality or like upscale, like watching Walking Dead or something that looks like crap to begin with. Mm-hmm. The Samsung isn't doing anything to make it better, whereas Sony can clean up poor content better than anyone else.
Yeah. So here's where I can see that both like when I'm talking about, when you say the S95B is definitely pushing the colors, so is the C2. It really is. Like these almost look the same when we're talking about how hard like the yellows and the reds are getting pushed. Like on this scene specifically, if you look right underneath the geyser thing, the yellow that's coming out and the red that's coming out there, they're both really like saturated. So
and see, this is the issue that's going on. Is I never said that the S95B was accurate. I said that the QD OLED aspect of it and the color volume and the brightness of it in high grade HDR content, which we haven't gotten to yet. This is only 1000 nits still.
Yeah.
That's where it is impressive with its capabilities. But Samsung Electronics has a ton of bugs and issues and other problems.
Yeah, no doubt. It is interesting though that the Q90B seems to be almost online with the A80J in terms of color. Hey, how's it going, Sammy?
What's up? How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Great.
Yeah, I've been saying from the beginning that been looking forward to the A95K and that seeing what it can do, because I mean, again, Sony's gonna treat it better, and hopefully they didn't rush it like the S95B was clearly rushed, or Samsung Electronics just really didn't care. One or the other.
Yeah. So you can't see the end of the C2 here. That sucks. I didn't realize it was cut off on that part, but they are looking. It's so crazy how the S95B and the C2 color-wise, in terms of where they're trying to push the color, it is very similar out of the box. But But like you said, probably when we get to higher nit content, you'll see more of separation. But the orange on the S95B just looks better, while the orange almost feels like it's like clipping on the C2.
We can't see the sun from the
I know. It sucks. I'm sorry.
I mean,
Yeah,
anything
the
that's
super chat.
orange, red, or yellow,
Oh,
you're
thank you.
going to really notice, because that's what's the most wrong with it. I mean, technically, like if you want to like talk about technically, that's what's wrong with it.
Mhm.
That's why it's going to draw your eye the most, and it's going to be super oversaturated, super bright. You're going to be like, okay, I love it, which is fine. That's totally fine, but that is technically why it's wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something I noticed right away for sure. And you're right. Some people will love it, but you'll notice that it's probably not the way it's supposed to be when it's right next to another TV. And then, like, if you have a lot of experience like you guys do, you'll notice it's wrong right away. Thank you, Gary Lamb, for the super chat. He says, "Good work, guys. My 21 QN90A movie mode local dimming high is broken." Oh, I heard about that actually. There's like a bug going on where it will default to low local dimming. And then he says, "Can we test real movie scenes on the new QN90B to confirm the local dimming improvement?" I PM you to AVS forums. YouTube don't allow me to post the link here. Maybe I'll look into it towards the end of the stream and see. If it's a movie, it depends on what it is, because copyright. But I can definitely test it off stream for you and see. When Classy and I were both testing the QN90B, we didn't run into any local dimming bugs where it went from high to low and stayed there. I am familiar with the bug though. Classy, let me make sure you didn't run into that, right?
No, I've heard a few people talk about it, but I've never experienced it.
Yeah. And I want to point this out. So you'll see like the S95B will look purple right here. That's just the camera. So thank you, Gary Lamb, for the super chat. I will look at it in a little bit. Probably not on stream though. If it's a movie, I have to be very careful with those. All right, let's keep running.
One thing about the S95B, like I'm not going to say it's a bad TV, because it's not. Like it is actually a good TV. I think like it's super impactful when you see it, like for the first time. Not necessarily SDR, just because it just looks like a normal Samsung. It's just like super oversaturated and everything. It's like, all right, it's just par for the course, right? But when you go to HDR, it is super impactful at first glance. And I think that's probably what it's like drawing a lot of people to it, because it is so, it almost is very similar to like if you went into a store and it was in retail mode. That's what it reminds me of.
Maybe, yeah. I see what you're saying there. I think it's the combination, like when you see the brightness, how high the brightness can be with the combination of like OLED contrast. It's like, whoa. So definitely see what you mean there. Again, I want to point this out for the C2 and the S95B. They all seem to be pushing it the same like way with color. And then the A80J and the QN90B surprisingly are the same.
That's weird. Like on camera, they look the most different.
Let me see. Oh yeah, they do. I'm watching the stream too. There is where you could sort of see the red is a little bit more on the orange. You said the orange is where you can really notice a difference, right, Sammy? Like that's something that stuck out and you're like, oh, okay, that's not the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, orange and red. That's like the first two things that I noticed immediately. Basically, everything on that side of the gamut, I noticed immediately. Like if you look at something that's yellow, if you're familiar with it, you're gonna know that it's wrong. Same thing with red and orange. Like that entire section is pretty much shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the new Tizen system is just horrible. Like it's basically Samsung went from competitive in their OS to, I would say, last place, at least among the main brands. Even on the Q190B, saying the same thing, the Tizen system, anything you can do to avoid it, that's what I would do.
When I turn mine on, I literally turn it on and walk away because I know like the remote's not going to work or the menus aren't going to work for like a good minute or two. But like even when they start to load up, I can't really navigate. Like I just turn it on and walk away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what is being talked about with backpedaling because, like, again, we were pointing out problems long before anything happened. I had a video of all the issues with the S95B before anything was ever said, and have a second one in the making.
Here on the Q90B and the S95B, they look about the same on the purple. The C2 and the ADJ look very similar.
I mean, I think with the S95B, like it's something new, right? And everyone's super hyped for something new. But the thing is not everything is for everyone, right? Like
Right.
I can tell you 100% this TV is not for me. I'm not saying it's a bad TV. It's just not for me. There's going to be people that love it. I think this television, if you're a fucking gamer or you watch anime, you're going to love this thing. Like, and especially if you don't care about accuracy, you're going to be all about it. For me personally, I've never thought of Samsung as being accurate. And like, I wanted it to test. Like, that's really the reason I have it is to test, but people are going to be excited and it's going to be hard for some people to like tame their excitement. And it's something new. It's the first new thing that we had in like 9 years. So
Yeah.
Once kind of the honeymoon phase is over and you start looking at it objectively more, you're going to see problems. Like there's problems with it.
Like, someone gets a new TV, they're not going to throw in the worst looking content they have. They're going to throw in a blockbuster that looks really good or whatever to be excited about it. And then it's as you start watching other content or whatever, then you start to see more issues. So like I watched Book of Boba Fett last night and came across some other issues that I hadn't seen in different content.
Yeah. Dude, so again, I don't know what it is, but the A80J and the Q90B, the yellow is just matching straight up. Here you can see the S95B is pushing it more than the C2, but not much more. Same thing with the reds. The reds are definitely pushed harder on the S95B, so that's one of the things you'll notice right away for sure, because the S95B is probably pushing the red way more than the C2 here, but they're both pushing it. Like, I don't know if you messed with the C2 this year, Sammy, but or maybe you've seen this in another LG OLED, but do you feel like they push the red a little bit as well?
They all somewhat push red, but the difference is you can at least somewhat correct it. Like that's the thing. Like you can correct the red on any LG. Actually, let me rephrase that. You can get the red 100% dialed in on any LG since 2017. You can get it like on like dead on. Sony, you can at least pull it in some and reduce the error. Samsung, you can't.
Yeah. So like for people that just are going to get these TVs out of the box, I think a lot of people are expecting that the S95B is just in vivid mode when it's in filmmaker mode, and I feel like that might be a misconception because it looks nothing like that to me. Like I've seen vivid mode on just about every TV. It doesn't feel that way to me.
Yeah, I gotta head back to work. Depending on how late you're going, I might be able to jump back.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. I'm gonna jump into gaming in a second. AGS, I got a super chat here. Thank you. Heart 8 Gaming and AGS Live. Thank you for the super chat. He says, "Is the X95J still worth it? 75 inch, $21.99 at Best Buy." I mean, that's not bad for a 75 inch TV. But the A80J at 2300, that's probably the better bet. Wouldn't you guys say?
And it's bigger.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, I think it depends on use case. If you want a really bright TV, then that probably might help a little bit, but you sacrifice a lot of those blacks as well too. But I don't know. I think the A80J may be a better bet, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah. Do you think, though, what I was saying about when people say it feels like it's in vivid mode, do you think that's a little bit of an over exaggeration?
No, not in my opinion.
You think it does feel like it's in vivid mode?
No, not to me.
Oh no, that's what I was asking. I thought you were okay. I thought you were disagreeing. I was confused.
Oh, no, no, I'm not disagreeing.
It doesn't.
No,
It doesn't seem like it's in vivid. It's just
Right.
It definitely doesn't look right.
Mhm.
So I'm definitely the exception, right? Like I'm the guy that I'll buy a television, I will run it for literally 5 days straight with breaks in between, and then calibrate it. And I have zero interest in even looking at it until I do that. So I'm literally the exception. So I never will shy away from leaning towards accuracy. But that a lot of it also has to do with what I do. Like if it's almost to a fault, right? So it kind of sucks in that aspect. But the problem, like when I see certain modes like that, it just doesn't look right, like how it's supposed to. And I think that's, for me, I wouldn't say it's vivid, but it definitely doesn't look how it's supposed to look.
Right. You can kind of see that right here. It definitely doesn't look right on this scene in particular. I'm gonna jump into some games. I'm gonna have to set up the games and jump into, put everything in game mode real quick.
So one thing when I was going through game mode, like when I was just like going through starting to test, like I don't understand, like, is it just me or is there like whole game optimizer like clunky? Like why do I have to like slide through and like press up and like it just seems super clunky to me.
So all you have to do is just hold the plus button to pop it up. And then from there you have everything here. It does feel like it should have some shortcuts to like get to expert mode, expert settings faster through that. I wish they did that. Honestly, it feels like the least clunkiest thing about the Samsung, because I feel like most of the menu system is pretty clunky, especially when you first started up. Like I'm not sure what Tizen did, because I used to like Tizen a lot. But yeah, no, I feel that. But I actually think that this menu is pretty fast.
Hey, this is the first time I ever experienced a game hub menu because I have Sony TVs, so for me, I think it's a good thing. I think it's a positive. Yeah, it does have this clunkiness here and there. I think I think it has a lot to do with just software. Just need to do another update to fix that.
Yeah, I'm gonna reset it to default. Here. Make sure everything's in game mode for you guys, because ALLM is like broken on my splitter, so. Actually did swap into game mode surprisingly.
But I do want to say this, and Sammy, I know you for you being a calibrator, it just I think the majority of people who do look at this TV, I don't think they're really going to care about the accuracy like that. They'll be and say like, "Ooh, that's off," or "This is off." I don't know. It
Yeah, no,
just
they won't. And that's the
yeah.
thing. Most people won't. Like I remember I calibrated a television for this one couple, and surprisingly, most of the time it's always the husband that wants it. This time it was actually the wife. She wanted it because everything was so dark she couldn't see, like she was losing detail, et cetera, et cetera. So I went and calibrated it. And I was talking to him because he was home and she was out doing something. And he was like, as long as you don't touch my vivid mode, because that's what I use for sports. And it's like, yeah, no, that's totally fine. I says, you will have to change it when you go to watch sports or something like that. I said, but it says, try it for a little bit, see if you like it. If not, just switch it to vivid mode and you're good to go. It took them about 2 weeks to acclimate to it, but most people, it's not what they're used to. And when they see it for the first time, I don't want to say it's jarring, but to them, it might look dull or it might look dark or it might look drab, or they're not used to it being warmer because they're used to something very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the same way they feel is what happens to me when I see something that's not calibrated. So the majority of people are not going to care. I would say 90% of the people that buy this television are going to be 100% happy with it out of the box. And that's fine. There's nothing that says you have to get your set calibrated or it needs to be referenced. That's where it becomes a preference.
Yeah. So
100% agree.
Where this TV just kicks completely like everything like else's butt is gaming. Like it is significantly brighter. It's almost on the level of the QN90B in that sense. So gamers are gonna love this. Like you can probably see on camera right now, the focus is on that because my camera's pulling it in. Let me try to raise the exposure. Yeah, so now I got the exposure even. I could see a lot of DSE. I don't know if you guys can see that on the QN90B. Oh, do you see that? Look.
Yeah, I do see it.
Oof. Rough.
Yeah.
And I see a pink tint on the C2. Rough.
And it looks a little purple on the S95B, but I already know that too.
That's the camera.
Yeah, because I made some. I was doing some comparison. I said, "What the heck? Why does it look purple?"
Yeah, it's like a red purplish push.
Yeah. Now I'm just curious about. I don't know. I know you're not really excited about the X95K, but I don't know. I'm just
I want to
curious
see
to see
it.
what the TV. Yeah, I just gotta see what that TV is about.
Yeah,
so.
it's unfortunate though. It's a 65-inch, so that's like too big for my testing bench.
Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah, because I'm just curious about
All
that.
you have to do is downsize 2 of the 55 inches as you have out of the 4 TVs you got now, and you should be able to fit it.
He said
It's
no.
true. It's true. This is my last day with the C2 and the QN90B. Well, actually, tomorrow will be. I don't know if I'm streaming tomorrow. I might. Might as well if I have them all hooked up still. I just want to make sure I get all the content I can out of them before I get rid of them. The C2 and the QN90B are just about up. I'm going to go to a brighter game here. Well, actually, I'm going to go to Ori because that's actually a darker game, and I think Ori is one of those things that's pretty amazing on an OLED.
So, Sammy, here's a question for you. So, with the QD display technology, do you see a lot of positives with it?
Oh yeah, no,
WRGB. How the LG has done.
I see, and that's the thing. Like separating. So this is the first iteration of QD OLED, and it's good. Like there's no doubt that's the direction we need to head. Like it's good. It's totally solid. It's where we need to be headed. Makes perfect sense. The implementation of it from this particular brand is what's bad. So if you can do the same thing, but still allow me to have full accuracy, full control, there's nothing crazy with the color spaces. It's not just buggy with the firmware in the OS. I'd be totally fine with it. Like I would keep the one I had or that I have right now upstairs, but it can't do that. So like separating Samsung from Samsung Display and QD-OLED, QD-OLED is great. Yeah, I want to see more of them. I want to see bigger ones. This particular one from Samsung is just not for, and again, this is for me. For me, this is not it. Like, this is like, yeah, no, I'm good. Like if I had to choose between a WRGB and Samsung's television right now, I choose a standard WRGB panel because I know I can get it to my level of desired accuracy when I can with the Samsung.
Yeah, and that's cool. That's definitely understandable.
And I think like another thing is a lot of people also are like saying like, oh, I see all these new colors I haven't seen before. And it's like, okay, well, you're not looking at enough stuff, right? Because you can look at a pure RGB laser and you could literally see the same thing. Like you have, it exceeds, like well exceeds BT 2020. You're talking about to like 106, 112, 120% of BT 2020. So
Right.
it's like, yeah, you can see those colors. Now you haven't seen it at that luminance level, but you can see that now. You could, if you've had a chance to see Cletus, same thing. And not just that, you could see it with like the application, right? Like I could do an ultra wide. I can section it off into different panels and have one huge large screen for one thing and like 5 small screens for sports, right? So I don't know. It's and I think that's probably why I wasn't so like blown away by it. Like I looked at it, it's like, okay, this is cool. It's like, all right, it's okay. And I just went to my testing and I was just like, all right.
Yeah, but like a lot of people haven't seen that yet. So when I think it's definitely going to be an experience for those people that aren't used to that. Like if I pull up Forza on the car painter thing, there's some colors that I've actually tried to hit on both the C2 and even the QN90B, like just by like raising the colors, just messing around, like nothing serious, just been messing around, trying to see if I could hit that same shade of color with the same luminance and everything. And I just couldn't hit it no matter what I did. So that's why a lot of that is impressive to me. I'll pull up what I'm talking about here, see if we can pull it up on camera. It's definitely harder to see on camera though. Like here's a good example to show how the A80J out of the box, you know. I think one of the things I hear all the time is people really don't like the way the A80J's color is out of the box, even though it is probably the way it's supposed to be. It's funny that the QN90B matches the A80J still. That means the QN90B is not actually pushing too much, it looks like, but it is pushing a little bit more. But the C2, again, for some reason is really close to where the S95B is, but this orange is one of the reasons why I was a little bit impressed. And if I try to push the C2, I have a hard time hitting the same orange. It's not going to come across on camera as good, but it is one of those things where you see the luminance and at the brightness level that it gets to, it is a wow factor kind of thing for me. So for me, that's a game changer. And I think a lot of people who are pretty casual, used to just like out of the box, cranking up whatever they want, you know, their preference really they're absolutely gonna love this TV, especially for gaming.
Yeah,
Because when
and
it
I
comes
mean,
to gaming, yeah, go ahead.
they should. I mean, they should totally love it. Like, there's nothing saying you have to have something accurate. Like, again, not
Hmm.
everything is for everybody, and I don't know why. Like, people seem to think that
Right.
because sometimes people are like, "Oh, it's not accurate. It's not accurate." We're telling them it's like it needs to be accurate. It's like, no, you bought this with your money. Do what you want with it. Like, I don't. Most people don't really care. Like, if you want to, do whatever you like want, turn contrast up to 100 for absolutely everything, crank color all the way up, then do it. Just
Hmm.
as long as you're happy at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. So
No, absolutely. That is all that really matters. I just think that some people they read into it too much, even though deep down, like that's not even something that they're really concerned with, because these same people will probably throw on contrast enhancer or things that make their TV inaccurate anyway. Like I'm sure you've calibrated for a lot of people that they end up just throwing on those settings anyway, and you're probably like, hey man, what's the point?
yeah, no, I generally when that happens, well, they generally ask me about it, like, oh, can I turn this on? It's like, yeah, if you want, like, go ahead. And what I'll do is I
Mhm.
generally show them like, this is what it does. So if you decide to use it, this is how it works. And so that way they know
Yeah,
specifically what they're changing, and then they can do whatever they want.
yeah, absolutely. Um, and I think that's a really good thing that you do that and you show them like what this does, because a lot of people use contrast enhancer, but they don't realize what it's doing to the picture. And that I was like this at first too when I started to get into TVs. I didn't realize how bad the picture was getting with contrast enhancer on and how much detail was getting crushed. But when I saw that for myself, I never used it again. So sometimes it is definitely like a learning experience for people to see what they are missing. And they have to be explained a little bit. And so that's why I love that you explain that to people when you're calibrating their TVs.
Yeah, I mean, it's I'm not going to tell them not to use something on the $5,000 television they bought, right, or the
For sure. Yeah.
$10,000 projector. It's kind of like, no, dude, like literally do what you want. Like if you want, this is what I came in and did. This is technically accurate. If you want to use these controls, this is what they do.
Right.
And then I give them all the settings anyway. So it's like, if you like totally like hose it up, just refer to the spreadsheet or whatever it is that I give them, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
You have a super chat.
Oh, thank you. Do you want me to drop the peak brightness so these are all even? Because right now they're not even on the camera.
I mean, I'm good. I'm actually about to take off. I'm gonna take care of
Okay.
some stuff for my wife.
Yeah, no
gets
problem.
home.
Thanks for
All
stopping
right.
by.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
See you.
Take it easy. Gimpy Gaming, thank you for the super chat. He says, has Samsung released the phone app calibration yet? They have, but it's not working correctly. A lot of people are having issues with it, and there is a bug where sometimes it can mess some things up with your TV. So it's probably not recommended using, honestly, just to be safe. So yeah, be careful with it. If you do use it at your own risk, and understand that some things could go wrong. But thank you for the super chat. As soon as there's an update released on that and we hear about it, I'll definitely let everybody know in the community chat.
Yeah. As of right now, I don't touch it at all.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because I saw My Gadget World, he had a really good video, and it showed he had a QN90B, and he went to smart calibration and it messed up pretty much the whole TV, and he had to switch it out.
Yeah, dude, when I tell you that like the brightness level on this game is the same as the QN90B, it is. That's what's like really got me sold on this TV. When I saw this game like in a bright game, like when I saw this game on that TV in a bright game like Forza, oh, it's that's why I say it's the best gaming TV for sure.
To me, I still think it's a great TV.
Yeah.
It still give me that wow factor each time I turn it on and stuff. So I mean, but that's just my opinion and stuff. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, you do have people who really care about the accuracy, and don't forget, I have a 890J too,
Yeah.
so I see both sides, and it just like to me, I this is my opinion, it gives me that wow factor on S95B, and I still have the wow factor on the A90J, but I don't know. I just think what Samsung is doing to like, especially when it comes to the brightness, what Classy has shown on there with the nits
Mm-hmm.
is, in my eyes, I can see it with
Oh
it.
yeah, for sure. And that's one thing I want to point out is that my preference is weird. So like on gaming, I like to crank it. Like I don't use contrast enhancer though because it does crush details. Anything that like really oversaturates and clips colors though, I won't use things like that. But I still do like, a really nice, bright, colorful image. But like when it comes to movies and TVs, I'm closer to like more accurate style, even though I don't try to get my TVs calibrated or anything. I just use the more accurate modes. And then sometimes I'll throw on, I don't know, SDR a little bit brighter than it probably should be, but that's kind of how I use it. So I'm definitely on the mixed side of those things. For gaming though, it's like gloves are off. I don't care about accuracy in gaming. Not one bit.
Yeah, that's the same thing for me too and stuff. So yeah, but it comes down to when you look at the average consumer,
Mm-hmm. They're
the
gonna love
majority
this
of the
TV.
time,
They're gonna love
look at
this TV.
this.
That's why I made the
They're
reviews
gonna
I
love this
made.
TV.
Those reviews that I made side by sides, those are
Yeah.
legit. My reactions, especially in gaming.
Oh,
Uh,
I got some comparisons. I got
yeah,
some comparisons to show. I haven't finished that up. I just had to throw the firmware update for this Yamaha receiver because a lot of people have been asking. But I have some more comparison pictures to show and stuff. So,
yeah.
I mean, but
Go
people have
for
their
it.
own opinion and stuff when it comes to TVs. But I so hardly felt
Hmm.
when I was doing my comparison, I felt that Samsung was doing a better job, especially with their processor getting as close as the Sony
Yes,
when it comes to detail. I still stand by that,
I
and the
stand by
reason
that
why
too.
and the reason why I'm saying that is because Sony has always been known to have the best processor, period. And it's just for Samsung to come out with their first OLED TV since ever, because they never
Yeah,
have. And to have that come pretty darn near close is, I think that's a good first step in my opinion.
yeah. And then Gaming Tech, thank you for the super chat. He says, I gotta run. Working on a new video. Awesome. Good luck on your new video. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for the super chat.
Yeah,
Everybody
have a
check
good
out
one,
his
Gaming
new
Tech.
video tomorrow, maybe, or the next day. Awesome.
Yeah, you've been putting out videos like
Yeah,
crazy
he's
for
got
the
some
last couple of
fire
days.
content for sure.
Yes, ever since the PS5 came out with the firmware update. Well, not the firmware update, but when they enabled the VRR. Yeah, you've been coming out with videos left and right.
Yeah. Here, let's paint a new car. That way I can go through. See, I love this painter because I can show you some of the differences on here. Let's paint. I don't know. Let's paint this Stingray.
Question for you, KG. I see some comments. What do you think about the TV sound system compared to the S95 compared to the LG C1? I mean C2.
Oh, the S95B has a lot more like rounded bass. I don't know. I really like the S95B sound. C2 is not bad either. It does feel worse than the C1 though. Weirdly enough, I feel like the C1 sounded a little bit better than the C2. And then the A80J is like far and away the better one.
Yeah, for me, I think the speakers are decent
Hmm.
on S95B, but I felt the QN800B were better.
Really? Oh yeah, that's right. Because they had the
Yeah.
things built into the back, right?
Well, it's all on the side, so the speakers are coming from. Well, it's like if you look at the frame, all of that is all speakers from the frame perspective, so you could hear it more diagonally when you look at it, when you listen. Well, not looking at movie, but looking and listening to movie, you could kind of pinpoint where it's coming from the screen, which is pretty neat. So
Yeah.
it's still not better than the A80J or the A90J when it comes to their sound, but it does sound pretty good.
Right. Can you see some of the color difference on camera right now?
Yeah, I can see it.
I mean, like, yeah, it's definitely pushed, but I think people are gonna love this. And then there's a few of these colors that I can't even get close to, even if I mess with the color sliders and stuff.
That's the thing is about it. Is like, and another thing too, it's really challenging to look at this on a YouTube video.
Oh, for sure,
Especially
it
your
really
camera
is.
too. And that's like kind of like another thing I always kind of stress too, because it's kind of like I get the red push that a lot of people are saying, but I don't know. It's kind of strange for me because I know on certain contents, I do see it, and then certain other contents, I was like, no, I don't see it at all. I don't know if it's because it's the bug that Classy was talking about, where the picture settings start to change and stuff, but that's kind of like how I feel about it.
Yeah,
Oh, go ahead.
No, go for it.
No, I was just gonna say because one example is because I did a comparison with Aquaman and stuff, like especially with Amber Heard. Dare I say that person's name, but where everything is going on, it's like certain scenes, like her hair is it pushes the red on one scene, but then if I look at another scene, it doesn't have that red push and stuff. So that's why I was like, huh, this is interesting and stuff. So, but I don't know. To other people who definitely when it comes to accuracy, I get that. But for some other people, like myself, I'm like, huh, I think it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, if you just want like the best gaming TV, this is a really great example why. I think all these demos are a good example why this is the best gaming TV. And it's totally worth it to me to spend the extra $400 over the C2, especially if you just want a bright, awesome gaming TV.
Yeah, people in the comments said Amber turd. Yeah, so I won't say that person's name no more, but Aquaman is a good movie regardless. And I think that's a good reference movie that I like to use when it comes to comparison because how they done the movie and stuff. So
I really love the way that the gold looks on this TV, man. This probably won't come across on YouTube, but there's a huge difference. Alright, let's try another game. You guys got any game requests here? I could do something bright.
Do Elden Ring now. That's should throw that on there.
Hey, you guys see what games I got, right? So,
Oh man, at the largest screen. Yeah, I see it.
I'll let people request if they want to.
Yeah, you did a lot of Assassin's Creed already.
Ninjation, are you trolling? Stop trolling. Matt, why you trolling my chat?
Yeah, he's like
He's trolling. I see him. He's trolling.
he's going in. He just talking so bad about the S95B, talking about throwing in a dumpster fire. Come on, man.
Don't take anything he says seriously. He's just trolling.
No,
I mean, he's probably serious, but he's trolling also.
I'm just messing with him.
Yeah, no, I'm just messing with him too.
It's all opinions. But the only thing is that it's only you that's going to make that decision when it comes to buying a TV or not, and you have to live with it. So
for sure, I'll throw on an Elden Ring. Why not? That's what people want to see. Time is it? Probably go for.
Yeah, I'm about to drop off in a minute.
Yeah, I'll probably only go for like another, I don't know, 20 minutes maybe. You could drop off before that though, don't worry.
Yeah.
I'll just answer some questions in chat and stuff.
Oh yeah, you guys see a Thieves. People was asking about that. I just thought about that. It would have been a good one.
Oh yeah, that's right. This is like bugging. I have to reinstall it, I think. That's right. That's right. So that's a no-go for me.
I do see a Thieves.
Sea of Thieves? Okay,
Yeah.
let's see if it's installed. I think it is. Has this little icon on it. I don't know. I'll do Marvel. That's really bright.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Do you have Halo Infinite downloaded?
Yep. I can do that
They
one.
said play the beginning scene, cutscene of Halo Infinite. Yeah, that cutscene is pretty good. But when you first got the game, when the game came out, it was something weird with the black bars. It was just like super gray. But I think they fixed it.
Oh, that's still like that. The black floor is lifted in that game.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on. Okay, so I thought it was fixed, but I guess not. Because I haven't played it in a while.
Oh, it may be. I don't know.
Yeah, I know they did a whole bunch of firmware updates. Here's a good question. From Chris Toston. He said, have both the A90J and C2. Thinking about getting the S95B tomorrow. Should I reconsider? Reconsider.
What's your
I'm a gamer,
priorities?
by the way.
I mean, so it depends. Like, if you're somebody who doesn't care about the accuracy, absolutely, yeah. Because it seems to be the only thing holding people back for the S95B is the accuracy. And so if you don't care about accuracy, get the S95B. It's not close.
Yeah, well, for me, I still think it got the wow factor. Especially when it comes to HDR content. I'm more and more because like I have the A90J. I don't have the C2, so I can speak to C2s. But yeah, I still think it's a good TV. I still think it's a great TV.
Yeah, I don't care about accuracy, especially when we're talking about gaming. And so this TV is going to stick out more than all of those TVs, even the QN90B for most scenes. There's only a few scenes where the QN90B is brighter. To me, that's amazing because the QN90A, like next to a C2, you would never get a scene that was like even on like the brightness levels unless it's a darker game.
Yeah. And then comparing it with the Sony A95K, is kind of like the question is people willing to shell out the extra $1,000? Is it really going to be worth that? So that's kind of like the things you got to think about as well too. And then on top of that, they don't have the gaming capability like the S95B as well. And then who knows? I mean, we don't know how bright it's going to be, so that's just speculation. We only had like early test results from back in March, so that Sony could have did some fine tuning to it since then. So, but at the moment, those are kind of like the questions you got to think about.
Yeah, I have to turn off peak brightness in HDR to match.
You said what?
I have to turn off peak brightness in HDR to match.
Oh yeah, and that's another thing. It's just, that brightness. I don't know. It sticks out. It sticks out because I'm in the basement right now, and my whole basement is all lit up.
Well, yeah, of course.
With the peak brightness.
Yeah. Let me load this game up. with all the purples and stuff. No, like it's all about what kind of preference you have, and there's no way around that. So it's cool. I think that's awesome that there's TVs for everybody out there. You know,
And then another
most of my
package.
audience doesn't really care too much about accuracy. There's some that do, and that's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I think
And
that too much has probably been made of it, and like I'm probably not gonna speak on it too much after this stream. I just wanted to clear up a few things because people think that there's still beef or something. It's not. Like, that's all done. Like, that's all done. I talked to Vincent. We're all cool now. Everybody's cool. That was all just a misunderstanding. He apologized. I apologized. We moved on.
yeah.
This game is.
Well, we're all good.
Yeah, we're all
Big
good.
happy family.
Exactly.
Yeah, but one thing I do want to say too, and I know people are, because I'm reading the chats and comments and they're saying like how things have shifted. I'll say this: this is a new technology, QD OLED. I thought this TV was going to be astronomical. I thought it was going to be a $6,000 or $8,000 TV coming out. It came out to be $3,000 for a 65-inch and what was it, $2,200 for the 55-inch.
Yeah.
That, I think that's the part that wows me more than anything else. And don't get me wrong, that's still expensive, but for new technology, I still think to this day that's a really good buy for it. And plus the fact with the potential of it and getting, I want to say it's the same as LCD level, but getting close to those type of levels when it comes to the level of brightness, and still retaining that color in the black levels is, I still think it's extraordinary.
Yeah, no, I think that combination is really what is going to get people. The first time they see it, it's the brightness combination, and then the fact that it's an OLED. It just doesn't, like, this shouldn't mix, but it is, and it's the technology I think a lot of people have dreamed for. And yeah, so I stand by everything I said. It's an amazing TV.
Yeah.
And people are going to say the same thing when the A95K comes out, but on the accuracy side, I bet anything. If I had to put a bet on it, that's what I'm betting. Everybody's going to lose their freaking mind over the A95K.
That's what I'm really looking forward to, because then this is really be a true testament. Even though Samsung did their first step to this, but seeing Sony to put their secret sauce to this and showing that this technology not only is new and relevant, is the future.
Yeah.
Then people will start thinking about, do I really want to get a WRGB panel from LG? So those are kind of like the questions to kind of think about. But don't get me wrong, those TVs are not bad. I'm not saying that whatsoever. I'm not saying like if you bought a TV last year, don't feel bad. If you bought a TV this year, don't feel bad. But it just comes down to preference and use case, and just seeing what QD OLED technology. I gotta say that to be specific, but seeing what it can do, I think it's exciting.
Yeah, no doubt. My games don't want to connect to the internet, which is weird. So that's cool.
Yeah. So then who knows? The firmware update on the Samsung might cure everything. Who knows? And then we'd be talking a different tune when it comes to colors and stuff like that. So
Absolutely.
who's to say?
Yep.
Because I know Samsung is getting wind of this already, because they already came out and say we're going to make bigger displays. So who's to say they can't fix other stuff?
Yeah, I know a lot of people are like, I'm definitely waiting to buy a TV next year, and I totally get that, because next year you'll have more refined options, and also you'll have bigger options. So,
and that's why I'm in the same boat, because I said this in my videos before. The only thing I feel about I feel bad or negative about the Samsung TV is I wish it had a bigger size. That was the only
Right.
thing that I said that was my negative and stuff. So
Yeah. That, and
um
then there's some bugs, there's no
yeah,
doubt there's definitely some bugs, but it's a new technology, it's a new TV. We gotta iron some of that stuff out. There's some stuff that we definitely have to do more testing on.
yeah,
There are some bugs though that like popping up. So I would say for that, just stay. I don't want to say stay tuned into AVS forums because it's not always the best place to go if you want information. Sometimes it is, but a lot of the times you're just gonna run up and get into a fight or something. So you don't want to do that. Um,
yeah, yeah.
but they have really great people on that site that post a lot of nice bug reports, things. User experience is where you're gonna get the most information. So yeah, those owner threads are awesome for that. So
And this is another thing too. It for me was key for a TV for myself, and like I said, I can speak for others, but the eARC works for me. And I had the QN800B, and it did not work for me for whatever reason. It could have been just that unit and stuff, but
yeah,
that's kind of like very, 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 very important to me that I had that working, especially with my sound system. And I think a lot of people have to consider that as well too. You may get a TV, I mean, because the Sony TVs had issues too with the eARC, and that was driving me nuts. But it was just because I updated the firmware and they kind of messed that up, and I was just stuck with it until they fix it again. But those are kind of like the things you got to consider too if you buy a TV. If the eARC is not working, but you got a perfect, accurate picture when it comes to colors, then you're in the situation like, well, it looks great, but now I can't produce the sound that I want to have because I paid so much money on the sound system. So those are kind of like the things you got to think about as well too.
yeah, totally, man. And for the person that was asking earlier, what's the better TV to get? Like, if you want the all-in-one combination of sound, I do think that the sound's pretty decent on the S95B. But like, if you got, no reason to get like a AV system or a soundbar for some reason, you just can't do the bass or something, in the like home that you live in. You just want something built into the TV. The A95K is probably gonna have really good sound. Sony does a really good job integrating the sound into their TVs.
Yeah, I totally agree about that. Yeah, so those are kind of like the things I that's very important to me. Other people don't even have sound system. They probably
Hmm.
just use the TV as itself and have their everything connected to it, which is fine. So that's why I said I'm the minority when it comes to that
I
portion
don't
of
think
it.
you're the
Because
minority. I think a lot of people actually do have sound systems.
yeah, but
Yeah,
don't even talk about it though. Those are kind of like the things that I think is as important too,
for
because
sure.
you see reviews that say, "Oh yeah, there's an eARC issue," and they kind of like brush it off, and they say, "What do you mean an eARC issue?" So those are kind of like the things when I buy a TV. If I'm running into an eARC issue, I need to know that immediately because you're shelling out so much money on the TV, and if it doesn't work correctly, it's kind of like, okay, what's going on?
Right. No, you're right. You're right. Cool.
I didn't even see what game you popped in. What is this? Call of Duty?
This is Call of Duty. Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't get any other requests. Nobody's requesting anything. So at
yeah. I
least I
think
didn't
everybody
see.
just
I didn't see. Aw, battery's
yeah.
exhausted. All right, well, that's it, guys. Make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe and stuff if you haven't already. I'll probably be back tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
There are some people that wanted me to go tomorrow. Overall, though, man,
Do it. Do it.
I don't know. It depends. If I can get some people on, I'll do it. I don't want to go solo.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah. So it's my bad. I forgot to plug in the camera. I was gonna sign off pretty soon anyway, though. But if you guys missed the stream, rewatch it and stuff. I'll probably end up doing a dedicated video on this setup. Hopefully, We'll see. But yeah, thanks for stopping by, guys. Make sure you sub to Max and Classy, and yeah,
Ninja.
yep,
Because he been coming
Ninjishin.
on the chat. Yeah.
Yeah, he was here. He never came on though.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't know if Classy ever sent him the link though, so that's probably my bad. Um, I was definitely a little overwhelmed with everything today. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. Yeah. He did a good job. I think.
Yeah, Brad, you came too late. All right, technical issues. It's over. So, yeah, I
So
love the
what am I
TV still.
watching?
So,
He said, "What am I
absolutely, I'm not
watching?"
backing down. There's no
Yeah.
backing down. It's still the best
No,
gaming TV you can buy.
Like I said, I have my opinions and stuff. So I think it's a
Yeah.
great TV.
Wouldn't you say that though? Best gaming TV? Like,
Oh yeah, yeah. This hands down, I think it's one of the best gaming TVs that I experienced so far. Even though the minor bugs that I run into, but compared to Sony, oh yeah, it's leaps and bounds.
right?
Because to me, in my opinion, it's like, because when I bought the 890J, because I only got the 55 inch, that was I think it went $3,000 when it first came out, and it had no type of gaming solution. And remember, they didn't have no VRR
Yeah.
for the longest time, and because it says supposed to, or ALLM is supposed to come out with a firmware update, and that took like over a year for them to do it, and then they don't have no type of game bar like Samsung and LG, and which is kind of a bummer. But those are kind of like the things like some people care about and some people don't care about. But Samsung, they're definitely doing their thing, especially they're gonna be releasing, I think later, I don't know when this year, but they're supposed to be releasing something as well for streaming games, kind of like
Yeah.
what is that? They have a some type of agreement with Nvidia, and so I don't know how that's going to work, but Samsung is definitely catering towards the gamer side.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. And then like all the game selection options that you have, like the different game modes, it's very like to me it's clear. It's a clear choice. So
Oh yeah,
we will see
and
about the A95K if it has the dimming issue like A90J and A80J. We'll see. Didn't really bother me that much on the A80J, I'll be honest with you. But I know it bothered some people more than that. So actually, that's one of the reasons why Classy got rid of his A80J.
yeah, I guess, and that's kind of like another thing too. So this all comes down to use case scenario,
Hmm.
because like I like for me for the A90J that I have in the bedroom, that's why I really didn't care for the gaming portion of it that much because I'm, to be honest, I'm not going to be gaming that much in that TV
Yeah.
with my wife and stuff. But in the basement, gaming is super important to me. That's why I was trying to like steer away from Sony and go either Samsung or LG route because I know they are more dedicated to gamers. And so
Hmm.
that's why I wanted to pick up this TV. And I still like it. And I still think it's a great TV. It's just I wish it was bigger. If it was bigger, then I would have told everyone right then and there. I said, I don't care what anybody say. This is a TV for 2022. But
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
just my opinion.
So Charles Henson, yeah, S95B is all for HDMI 2.1, so that's another thing that it's going to have over the A95K. A95K pretty much has one HDMI 2.1 port if you're going to use ERC, which a lot of people do. So you will have to keep that in mind
Hmm.
when you're talking about these
Yeah.
two.
And so that's another thing too. So Sony only has two HDMI
Yep.
2.1 ports, and one of them is eARC. And so for me, even though Classic said that there's a firmware update that automatically switches in the settings, I tried that out on the A90J. It doesn't work. So for me, my use case scenario, if you have your eARC or your HDMI coming from the HDMI 3 port, I
Yeah.
believe, for the eARC and going to the receiver, and you have your external devices connected to it, you have to manually go into the Sony menu, go to settings, change the input, and toggle between the advanced settings when it comes to Dolby Vision or VR or the 4K 120, 4K 120, which is super cumbersome because if you leave it on one of the settings, then all your external devices will not have Dolby Vision. It will have just regular HDR. And for me, it's just like, even though it's like a small problem, but I consider it's a big issue because they should have something that is automatically just does it for you, like how LG and Samsung do it. So it's
Yeah.
just for me, it's just I hate going through multiple menus just to switch it.
Right. Right.
Yeah, so I wish Sony just I don't know what Sony was thinking on that one. So
Yep.
yeah. So.
I'm just scrolling up, trying to get some questions, and then we're gonna wrap up. I want to make sure I get all these questions hit. If you guys had a question, I want to make sure I hit it. So, let's see. A lot of people talking about preference versus reference. Like, it doesn't have to be a war, guys. Like, that's the thing.
Man.
That's what me and Classy are trying to tell you. It's like we can both love one of the things we can all coexist in this happy world. You don't have to pick a side.
Yeah, you don't have to pick a side. And then at the end of the day, too, it's like you're the only one who's going to be buying this TV. I'm not buying
exactly.
the TV for you.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to live with it and stuff. So
I want to say something that I feel very strongly about. This is not a dig at anybody else. I'm just saying I do think a lot of the hype for the S95B for just regular casual people who don't care about accuracy, who kind of just watch on the side, probably were taken back by what was put out there, and it got in their heads a little bit, and so they're thinking like, I don't know, man. I don't know about this TV now. And that's something they didn't actually care about, but it got into their heads. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it just...
I totally agree.
Yeah, I think it was like a buzzkill for some people.
And I get it too. And I'll say this, and I'll say this too. If you, I don't know if they have these TVs on display yet, because I live in Michigan, so I haven't seen them yet. But the thing is that when you have a chance to take a look at it, I would say it does give you the view of, let me look at this again and see what's going on with this TV. And that was the one thing that kind of stuck out more than anything for me, because originally I wasn't going to get this TV. I was just thinking like, no, I really didn't really care for it. I was really stuck on thinking about getting an LG G2 for this year. But after getting this TV and turning it on for the first time, just like watching this regular content without doing any type of setting changes, I knew right then and there was something special with this TV, especially with what the Samsung displays have done. And it's just like when it comes to that brightness and that wow factor, you do see that wow factor. Yeah, I understand where Sammy and Musician and Classy is coming from when it comes to the accuracy portion of it, but at the same time too, you do see that wow factor, and they can't deny that either. As much as I know they're professional calibrators and stuff, but it's just one of those type of things that it does come out when you start watching some content.
And they have said that too. So like, it's definitely going to be like Classy says here. It's for gamers. It's mostly great. Like for higher grade HDR content, it's great. And we're gonna start to see more higher grade HDR content too. Oh my God, Classy! Please get this dude, Classy. And then he said, "KG, it's not the things that were put out there that killed it. It's the endless trolling that spawned from it." Exactly. It's the thing that.
The other stuff.
Did I not get them?
Hold on for a minute.
Does it say blocked?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Classy got them.
All of a sudden. Yeah.
I think Classy got them.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So, so I want to say this. You're right, Classy. It's the people that don't understand anything about it that killed it for everyone's mood on it. And this is absolutely true. If you're not familiar with calibration and somebody says the colors are bad, the colors are bad. The colors are not good. People who aren't in knowing anything about accuracy and calibration, if they hear the colors are bad or the colors aren't good from just normal people on a message board or in video comments, it's like sets them back, right? And makes them think that the colors in general are just bad, but really it's just the accuracy of the colors. It's not like the colors are bad. The colors look fantastic. So it's just they're not accurate. So I think there's a lot of people that are going to see messages like that, and it's going to take them back, and they're going to be very confused to like what to think of the TV now. So it is a buzzkill at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I get, and that's the thing is about it. I get it, and that's where I think where I was coming from the very beginning. At the end of the day, everyone have to form their own opinion on what they think of the TV. I have my own opinion. KG have their own opinion. Classy and so forth. Other people have their own opinion about the TV as well too. It comes down to what once you have all those opinions, then that's something that you need to form to yourself and think about, is this going to be a TV for me? And that's what you got to think about, those type of scenarios. And then if it checks everything that you need, then that's something that you need to consider about it.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it.
No, you're right. You're right. That kind of hits what Samuel's talking about. He says, thank you for the super chat, Samuel. Thanks for taking the high road, KG. You respect both sides, those who love accuracy and those who don't find it necessary. Thanks for that. There's a lot of obnoxious people out there right now, and that's unfortunate that there are people that are saying that you have to have it one way or the other. I don't like that. And I wish that wasn't a thing in the AV community, but unfortunately, there are a lot of people who gatekeep for both sides. And it's like, you don't need to do that, because there's just people who love TVs in general, and we can all agree on a lot of things when it comes to TV technology. And that's what it's really about at the end of the day, is it's about this QD OLED technology and being excited for it and seeing the potential in it, ignoring the accuracy part of it. For me personally, because I don't care about that, but also just because I'm looking at the technology and I'm saying, man, people are going to love QD OLED, whether that's from Samsung or from Sony. It's leaps and bounds beyond what the WRGB OLED can do in terms of what it delivers on the combination of brightness and contrast. Like, you just don't see that kind of combination. And so there are a lot of things that people need to pay attention to, especially with the S95B. There are a lot of bugs right now. And in addition, you bring up a really good point. Regardless of the picture quality, the bugs in Tizen are deal breakers for a lot of people. And once the ghosting info comes out, it'll be a Hisense fiasco all over again. So there's only been like a few scenes that this is seen in. We're going to look into this some more. I was talking a little bit to Classy about it, but I'm going to dive into it more. I haven't seen any ghosting, like in terms of inverse ghosting on gaming. I don't know where this ghosting would be. I'm sure it has something to do with the chromatic aberration, but we'll see. Right now, it just seems to be seen on a few different scenes. We got to look into it some more. Could just be a bug. We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't think it's related to like the regular kind of ghosting we're used to with LCD panels, but we'll have to find out, right? And that's why it's really important that you understand that stuff too. The ghosting stuff, we don't know much about yet. And as of right now, that's just started to pop up for people. So I don't know if that's something that was just like a bug added with the new firmware. There's a lot that we don't know. So.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Yeah, because I haven't noticed any ghosting when it comes to gaming. So so it's like, unless somebody pointed out to me and give me like a specific test, then you know the average person is gonna be like, okay, I don't see what you're talking about until you like physically see it and stuff. So.
Yeah, I mean, like,
okay.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, since I have all 4 TVs on right now, you can't see it obviously, but I would like to see where that scene is, and I'll try to pull it up, but see it for myself.
Oh, sorry, Classy. He didn't say gaming. He just said I think you were just talking about.
It's just in video so far. Like like you guys didn't see it in gaming, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Right.
So my mistake. Not gaming.
Yeah.
I think it was just I haven't noticed it. So while watching regular content. So.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
But I mean, for me, I'll tell you what. I had a Sony XBR2 LCD TV, and that was like in early 2000. And that TV had ghosting, and that drove me nuts. So to see the technology from then to now, I don't see it until I'm unless I'm like really, really trying to look for it, I don't see it at all. Right. So and that was a great TV back in this time, but it was terrible when it comes to ghosting. And that was one thing when I was looking at people just walking around and stuff. I was just, oh, this is so awful, awful. But at the same time, too, I mean, it's technology do evolve. But going back to the QD OLED, I haven't seen it unless Classic could just show probably one of his videos, and I could probably take a look at it.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll talk to him about it. That's cool. All right, well. Thanks, guys. Okay, well, here's another.
Oh, you got one more. Yeah.
Thank you, Samuel, man. I really appreciate you. He says, very frustrating time. I had to leave a Facebook group because someone shared one of your videos and the moderator mocked him and said only Vincent has the final word. I hate that. Let people enjoy their stuff. It's unfortunate, man.
No, I agree.
It's unfortunate. Like, that's how Reddit is. Like, you can't post anything but Vincent's videos. It's like, there's other content out there too. Like, I love Vincent's videos. At the end of the day, I watch them all the time. He's one of my favorite creators. So,
and that's another thing too. And that's why I said over and over again, like, Vincent's a great guy, but at the same time too, you can't solely go off of just one person's review.
Gotta watch everybody.
Yeah, you have to watch everybody's opinion when it comes to their take of the TVs, because there are certain things that Vincent will post, but also he doesn't put in his videos too that other people may have in their videos. And so those are kind of like the things you got to think about as well, because those videos that Vincent made, there's no way you could talk about everything on the TV within 10 minutes. There are so many things to talk about. And it's like you can't put everything in that review. So that's just how it goes.
Yeah, everybody should really just watch the people that they feel they can relate to, and multiple people if you can. If you're trying to make a buying decision, the more people, the better, and then formulate your own opinion off of that. You know, I understand like some people just want to go to one trusted source. That's fine. That's fine. If that's what you want to do, that's fine.
Yeah.
But don't shun everybody for not being Vincent, please. Yeah. Because I see that a lot. It's like, oh, this guy's not Vincent. He sucks. I'm like, all right, man. Like, thanks. Yeah. Appreciate that.
Yeah. You got another super chat.
Yeah, man. Thank you, Anthony M, for the super sticker. I don't know if you had anything to say with it, but I appreciate the super sticker.
And just think about it. At the time, there used to be magazines where we used to look at reviews during that time. And they used to go through all this type of settings and reviews and stuff like that. I know you can still probably find it here and there, but that used to be the go-to during that time as well as when it comes to reviews.
Yeah.
Things have changed now. Now it's YouTube.
So Eduardo says, I have a question about director's intent. Does it mean it's made for theater room viewings and is TV professional calibration mimic what the director's recommended picture values are? Director's intent is just you're seeing it the way the director wants you to see it. So in people's minds, the director's intent is how it was mastered and how it was graded on a mastering monitor. And so people that can get closest to what the reference standards are, well, that's how you can get to the director's intent. So
you got another super
there's some people who want 100% director's intent, which is fine with that. And there's some people that will toe the line and add some things, which is also fine. There's nothing wrong with it. So like, that's the thing that I wish everybody could respect is everybody's gonna love things differently. Anthony M, thank you. He said my question is right above the sticker. I appreciate that. Let me see. Do you see it, Anthony M?
No, I don't see it.
Oh, here he is. I think, is this it? Let us know if this isn't it. I'm sorry. And let us know. He said, I'm looking at a Sony Q90T. I think you mean Samsung Q90T? Or maybe you mean A90J. Could you be specific? Because the Q90T is like a Samsung TV from like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Do you mean maybe the A90J or the A80J? Could you type that again? Maybe you mistyped there. Let me see.
No, you said Samsung.
Oh,
Q90T.
Samsung Q90T. Okay. Well, Samsung Q90T, do you have that already or you're going to look to buy it? That's like a 2-year-old TV. So the C1 is going to be more of a updated TV, and Q90T is probably not going to be supported too much longer from firmware updates. So like, it's one thing, like it depends on the region you're in too with the Q90T, and it's hard to recommend a 2-year-old TV.
It depends on what price he's getting it. So
yeah, it also depends on the price too. Like what prices are you looking at there?
If he in it for a great deal, then that would be a decision factor right there.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm surprised. Like we got 174 people watching a blank screen. Sorry.
That's showing the love, KG.
Yeah,
that's showing the love. They're listening to us.
I appreciate. I appreciate it.
More than anything else. So.
They're listening to you too, Max. Don't.
I'm just there for the support.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
I got your back on this and stuff.
Thank you, man.
The S95B is a great TV, everyone. I will keep on saying that, and like I said, it's a good TV.
Yeah, I'll scream it from the mountaintops.
Yeah, if they have a bigger size, you will see this TV in the basement. That's the only thing. I wish they had a 77-inch. If they had a 77-inch, like I said, people could tell. They could trash me all they want, saying like, "Well, it's not accurate." Hey, you know what? You didn't buy this TV.
Yup. And Iceman and Bob, I see you. I see you on your channel. You got the S95B coverage too. I know you love that TV.
Yeah, he got a couple of videos.
Yeah, really good stuff.
Comparison. Yeah, you got the G1 too. So.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Any other questions?
Yeah, any other questions? I'm gonna wrap it up in about 5 minutes. Do you guys want us to come back tomorrow? I don't know if you're able to, but like around 5-ish my time. So I guess like 8, 9 your time, something like that.
Tim Todd said yes, something. He said, is the content we have today somewhat gimp because they are targeting what is mainstream, which is lower end display. Oh, this is a really good question.
All right, let me look. Is the content we have today somewhat gimped because they are targeting what is mainstream, which is lower end displays, rather than targeting what high-end displays can deliver? No, not at all. A lot of the stuff is mastered like on a pretty good mastering monitor. So I guess it really depends on the studio that masters it at the end of the day. But no, they have some pretty high-end stuff. I don't think any of it's really gimped. It depends on the content and what you're watching, but like most of the modern stuff is probably good.
Here's another good question. I don't know why this stuck out to me. Will you do an in-depth video on the Sony VRR? You know what? I am, because they came out with the PS5 update, but I don't know about KG though.
I'm not sure yet. It depends. I have a lot of content that I have to put out on the QN90B and the S95B and the LG C2. and then I'll probably roll right into 895K stuff. So it'll be tough. I'll figure some things out.
Well, you could roll that with the A95K because once you have,
Yeah,
yeah, but the thing is, I don't think, do you have a PlayStation 5? I think
I
that's the
do.
only
Yeah, it's
question.
at my brother's house.
Oh, okay. So if you have a PlayStation 5, so that would be kind of like the experience right then and there because to show how it's set up. Because I know for the A90J, I haven't put the video out. I thought it was kind of nice when you hook up your PlayStation 5 to the TV, there is like a notification showing like the PlayStation logo, which is pretty neat. And
Hmm.
it takes you through it as in doing automatic setups. And yeah, I thought that was a nice touch of Sony. I just wish they had a game hub like Samsung and LG. So
Yeah.
um, that's just my only gripe about it.
Master Singleton says, "Is Samsung's ultra short throw 4K HDR projector better?" Ooh, that's a hard one because I'm not really a projector guy. I haven't seen any ultra short throws yet. I wish like Sammy was still here. Pretty sure he was
Oh yeah,
probably
that would
somebody
have
who
been a good
saw that.
question.
But
Yeah.
he really does the more high end projectors. So I don't even know if he's seen the Samsung ultra short throw, but I'm sure he has. Um, I hear some pretty decent things about it. There's no question about that. I don't know for sure. Sorry, can't answer that question. Have you seen one?
Uh, to be honest, I used to have projector. Well, I still got a projector, but I don't have an excuse me, ultra. I can't even talk right now because it's getting a little bit late. Ultra short throw projector. The only one I've seen is like at Best Buy when they had the Magnolia Center. They're really good per se. Samsung is good, but it depends which one they talking about specifically. I thought the Epson did a better job, in my opinion, um, with their short throw compared to Samsung. But
Uh-huh.
and the reason why I'm saying that is because I felt the Epson was more brighter and still and also had better black levels compared to the Samsung. But I think it all comes down to what model you talking about specifically, and we
Yeah.
kind of can have a discussion at a different stream.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah, but I will say this: I think is a really good technology, especially for people who have tight spaces and looking for bigger screens. Instead of going through the whole full projector route, where again, having a projector from the ceiling or putting it somewhere else. The ultra short throw, you just put it on the TV stand, you just put it on the wall, and
Yeah.
sometimes they even provide a screen for you and stuff, and you're good to go. So I think I think it's great.
That's cool. Micker says, will the Broncos win the Super Bowl? That's my question. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Broncos, okay.
Yeah. Absolutely they will. There's no doubt about that. All right. I just want to make sure, double check. I think we're good. Um, I'll probably be back tomorrow. We'll see. Might have some other guests on as well. I don't know the time. Stay tuned to the community chat for that. Um, community tab, I mean. And yeah, I'll post there. If I don't do a part two of this, maybe we'll just do talking. I don't know. We'll see. But I don't know what else I would show that I didn't show today. That's the thing. Maybe I'll find a way to hook up the Apple TV and we'll just do HDR demos the whole time. That's probably the best thing we can do. Since a lot of those are higher graded and you'll be able to see a lot of the differences. But thanks to everybody for showing up. Appreciate you guys so much. Hit the like button on the way out. Leave a comment if you can. If you didn't get your question answered, leave a comment. I'll answer it. I promise. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day. And go check out Max's channel. It's awesome. You got
Thank
anything to
you.
promote before we go?
No, yeah, I just threw out a video if anyone today, well, not today, but yesterday on the Yamaha firmware update. So all the inputs on there is HDMI 2.1, 4K 120 pass through, 8K 60 pass through. if anyone is looking for a new receiver, it does it. But it doesn't do VR, so that's the only bummer.
Yep. Sorry about the camera issues. Didn't know. Next time I'll make sure that it's plugged in. That's my bad. Tomorrow I'll plug it in if we do go. So, yep. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one.